Hello, my fellow readers. My name is Greg. This is Ghost Readers in the Sky. My reading has been up and down, and mostly down and back up. And here I am, just trying to sort out where I'm going next. And I do like the BookTube events. And so I'm doing a couple of events in April, but in a shortened, consolidated, Reader's Digest style way, condensed, abridged. You pick your favorite synonym. I did want to take part in People April, which is where you read about people. So primarily biographies, autobiographies, memoirs about people or groups of people. And so there are a lot of prompts for this event, and there are a lot of ways that people are diving in. But I thought I'm just going to start with one biography of a person I've been wanting to read more about, and that's Jim Bridger, mountain man who spent time in this part of the world back in, I think he came out west first in 1822 or so. Anyway, Jerry Ensler has a biography that came out a couple years ago that's award-winning biography, and I started it already. I'm about a quarter of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's the idea of the mountain men and the fur trappers and how they interacted with the native people here and how they fought each other, partly because some were American, some were British, some were French, some were Mexican, some were from Hawaii, and how they all worked both together and not together, and focusing around Jim Bridger. Here's something I learned. There was a book snob tag going around here not that long ago, and one of the questions people were answering is, are people who read more sophisticated than people who don't? Well, Jim Bridger was one of those guys who never learned to read or write, but he spoke fluently 7 languages. 7. Now, I think that's pretty sophisticated. I don't know what your definition of sophisticated is, but anybody who can speak fluently in 7 languages, I think deserves some sophistication. And just because he couldn't read, I'm not going to hold that against him. Anyway, that's People April. I'm reading this Jim Bridger biography right now. The other event that I'm looking at is Spring into Adventure, which takes place in April and May. The prompts are basically read fiction and nonfiction that are adventure stories, fiction and nonfiction, one each from before the 20th century and another set after the turn of the 20th century. And I had been thinking about what I wanted to read, because I read a lot of adventure, both fiction and nonfiction. And then Gavin over at Genre Books, he said that he was going to read Francis Parkman's book about the Oregon Trail. So that's definitely a nonfiction pre-20th century book. It's one that I wanted to read. It's kind of a classic of Western nonfiction, Western history. And so I told Gavin I might be reading that same book. And so we may buddy read, or we may just be reading it at or about the same time. So we'll see. I was thinking I'd follow that up with there was a guy who took a wagon, a covered wagon, across the Oregon Trail in the 2010s. Rinker Buck, is that his name? I'll put a picture somewheres up in here. But I was thinking, so if you got something that's about the Oregon Trail that's more contemporary to when that was actually happening, and then you get somebody who's riding the Oregon Trail, but 150 or so years later. I thought that'd be a nice mix. There are some, that's pretty cool, ain't it? It is. All right, and then I'll find some fiction too. I don't know what exactly. I got lots of options, but I think I will do for April. I think I will do the Spring Into Adventure, and I'm already into People April, and it's also National Poetry Month, and so I'm going to start a series of Poetry Thursday. Although I'm going to spin it a little bit and do Cowboy Poetry Thursday. So that's what's coming up. I'm going to do that through April. I got 4 poems planned, one each Thursday in April, and we'll see how that goes. And yeah, let me know if you like it. Let me know if you're doing anything in April with any of the events. There are a whole bunch of events that you can participate in if you so choose. Or do you just ignore events and read whatever you want? Or are you just are you focusing on award-winning lists or whatever? I'm just kind of curious. I'm kind of using the events from BookTube as a springboard, but then I'm going to read whatever I feel like, and I'm not necessarily going to read every prompt every time. And that's how it is. Thanks so much for supporting this channel. Thanks to all the new subscribers who've come around in the last couple of weeks. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you are finding something really interesting to read. Till next time, my name's Greg. This is Ghost Readers in the Sky. Keep on reading.